I remember being raised very early on, raised in an environment where there was lots of partying, different substances were used. Seeing different individuals in my life that I wasn't very acquainted to coming in and out of our home. I remember my mom and my dad arguing, basically just kind of growing up in chaos. I remember around 7 years old, Dad and my mom got into it. And I remember very vividly the argument and just the expressions on their face. And I remember my mom leaving that day, and I remember what that did to my heart. And I stayed with my dad and kind of went on a roller coaster ride and with him through different relationships that he went through, different marriages. Got real close to one of my stepmothers, and then they would split up, and then another one, and then they would split up. I thought I was good. I played like I was good. Externally, I was living a lie. I wasn't good, and then not only was I wasn't good, it was affecting my relationship with one and all of my kids, especially the boys. My wife brought it up to me and I denied it. And I said, no, he's just hard-headed. And basically, God wasn't done with me yet. And so when I got to working and praying and seeking God and asking him, I got freedom from addiction, and I got freedom from prison and jail and all those different things that I've been through. And God still pursued me on more. He still wanted me for more, and he never stopped. And I remember crying out to this older man in his office, and I remember when I gave my dad to God. I didn't harbor any resentment. I didn't harbor any fear. I didn't harbor any trauma. I didn't harbor any ill feelings towards him. I just literally placed him in the arms of God, and I said, God, I don't know where he's at, but I know you do. And I just wept for his soul and forgiveness for him, because I felt like I had been holding on, and it was making me sick, and it was hurting my relationships. And I remember when I did that, I remember I felt like I'm already like 340 pounds, so I honestly felt like I dropped 100 pounds, which is a lot. This last boot camp I went, I was really grateful I got to go. I remember walking in for chow time, and Michael Fisher and stopped me, and all he did was put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, man, the Father loves you. And Scott come over and prayed for me. And then Scott asked me to look up, and I looked up, and he said, what are you holding on to? And I said, I just want my dad here. I just want him apart. Scott asked me, he said, where's your dad? And I said, he's in prison. And Scott said, the Lord wanted me to tell you that just because you didn't get what you needed from your dad, like Jesus loves his kids, that doesn't mean that you can't go be for him what he was supposed to be for you. I went and visited him a few times, kind of got a feel for him. I've been praying. And I remember when I saw him after all those years, because me and him had a toxic relationship that involved drugs and alcohol. And I felt it's weird because I felt the closest with him when we would use drugs together, which was weird. But that was the enemy trying to say that was the only connection we could ever have. But what I know today is that's a lie. God isn't done with us yet.